Eyeballs ahead jokes.
What up, y'all? We're back.
Hey,
Episode 164 of Eye Pokes and Head Chokes. We're here doing the quarantine containment episode number 2, I guess.
going crazy.
It's been a long fucking week already. Like, honestly speaking, between work and this quarantine and like just finding shit to do. Like, I've officially run into the problem with that you usually have with Netflix and with like Hulu and whatever, like what to watch.
You don't want to watch anything that's up there?
No, I've gotten into the point to like, what do I play? I have over like 400 games. I have a Switch, I have a PlayStation 4, I have a laptop and a PC. And I'm just like, what do I do at this point? Like, how?
Yeah, I've been going a little bit crazy with the games too. I've been finished Spider-Man. I just had to make sure I finished it again. I've been playing God of War, and the damn Valkyries have been kicking my ass.
Oh, the Valkyries are assholes.
Yeah,
that's what they are. Like, hands down, assholes.
Oh my god! But I'm like on my way to like just completing the whole game at 100%. The storyline's been done, but I'm like, I need something else to do.
No, yeah, like I think at this point I'm gonna start not replaying, but going back to revisiting Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I was just talking to our boy Beamar about it, and he was just like, yeah, I was playing it, and like, you know, just like getting all the stuff, and I was like, you know what, I might as well do the same shit at this point. I do have other games to finish that I need to finish. I'm not gonna lie, because we don't know how long this shit is gonna last. Also, I'm working from home at the same time, so it's kind of like, you know, it's there, but at the same time, like, we still have to cover our podcast, our wrestling news, everything going around. Yeah, so we have new announcements for AEW, WWE, like with WrestleMania coming up next weekend. And we just had Dark Side of the Ring drop the Chris Benoit episode part 1, which, of course, like, some heavy shit. So not heavy in terms of shit that we haven't seen, but it's just like just seeing other people like look into it, especially somebody like Vice looking into it. It's kind of like a big fucking deal. So,
that's what we starting off with.
No, we'll end with Dark Side. So we can start off with AEW pretty much. AEW news. For the most part, that I'm looking at if you see me looking up this way, it's because I'm looking at my other 2 screens or whatever. So I saw that AEW announced 4 Dynamite shows being relocated because of the coronavirus. Philadelphia, Wednesday, July 29th. Houston got rescheduled to Wednesday, November 4th. New Orleans got Wednesday, December 2nd, and Albuquerque got rescheduled to the 30th of December. Huh?
It's Albuquerque. Come on.
It's Albuquerque, whatever.
I mean, Breaking Bad, though, but still. So if they're relocating, where are they relocating to? Are they relocating to Jacksonville, to Bailey's place? Are they just going to be recording there? Like, what exactly is? What do you think?
I'm not entirely sure at the moment. I mean, I would probably assume so, because WWE is doing the same thing with the Performance Center right now, and it would make a lot of sense for that to be the case, because you want to minimize contact, and they still have a show to put on for the most part. So it's a tricky situation, but I would assume that, hey, because they have a good partnership and it's down in Jacksonville, and there's the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Cons, and my hair is annoying the shit out of me. I think for the most part, it'll be perfectly fine, like them doing it that way, just like they're doing it with the WWE and anybody else that's really any other shows that might be going on from the majors. Because now at this point, I think we could count AEW as one of the majors, because we usually only count and WWE, but it really is now, because of the fact that they're putting on weekly shows, and even then it's not really messing anything up for them at the moment. So
yeah, everything is pretty much going upward for them, and they're also they're killing it as far as the ratings go. Like, I don't want to jump into that too soon, but like NXT and AEW last week was
AEW and NXT. It was kind of kind of nuts. When you sent me the numbers, I was like, oh shit, that's kind of a big fucking deal.
Yeah, and remember what I had said last week is pretty much what they did. Remember I said it should just be a promo show for WWE?
Yeah.
That's what they did, but they shouldn't have did that based on see you later. You see the body waving in the back. It's my mom. Yeah, but that's what they did. They did a promo show for NXT, but I still feel that way for Raw and SmackDown. I don't feel that way for NXT because NXT has actual competition.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no other choice of wrestling to watch on Monday or Friday. But on Wednesday, if you don't want to hear these promos from these people, if you don't want to watch these matches from these people, you can go to AEW. So, I mean, you can go to either or. So it's kind of hard with that, but I still think they should have done more of the promos for Raw and SmackDown. And between promos for that, some old matches also. I was talking to Tev yesterday, and he was just like, wow, Bulldog's in the Hall. He's going to the Hall of Fame. Like, a lot of people don't know about him. So, like, in this situation, they should have at least had one of his matches playing for either Raw or SmackDown. You have content. You have to utilize it. You have
a vast library. So,
especially with the fact that, like, they're like WWE is, I guess they're in the talks of getting rid of their pay-per-view rights or just spreading it around a certain way. So that would be smart because there's a lot of reasons to get the WWE network, but at the same time, without pay-per-views, you have to.
I mean, you really have to sell. You have to sell your network all over again just to try to get that up.
And that's one way of doing it with hidden gems, because he talks about the hidden gem matches a lot. And if you just let people know that, like, there's other matches from this place and that place and this guy from this year when they were there, like, that'd be really amazing for people that don't have it or don't know about it.
Oh, so. Yeah, for sure. Like, just to break off real quick, we're gonna go into gonna go into this matter later in the show. Yeah. But like in terms of with you talking about the older matches that you haven't gotten to see and whatever. While I was watching Dark Side of the Ring, they had the Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero matches, and they had the Chris Benoit and Jericho matches. I was like, I have New Japan. I'm sure they have that in their thing. I need to go watch that shit today. So it's things like that. I agree. WWE definitely has to put those highlights on their things, like, just to put out content. Like, why should I have network if you're going to try to sell your pay-per-view rights? Because that's pretty much the selling point of your network, to be able to get all the pay-per-views for $9.99 a month. Otherwise, you're going to see a massive amount of people.
Wants to watch and that's no shot to anybody, but
no, yeah,
I'm sure it's interesting to some people. But what I'm saying is, I don't think they're going to get 500 to 1 million views, but I could be wrong.
Yeah,
I'm just saying I don't see it happening. I don't see a reason. I don't see people going to the network for that show, and it's pretty entertaining when they have specific guests on there. But I don't see that happening. Even Swerve. They had Legends House when it first started. Certain things.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff fell off.
Yeah, a lot of things. It's like the docuseries that WWE has.
Those are pretty cool.
Those are the best
and
things.
Like the podcast stuff that they have as well. Like that's also pretty cool. But for the most part, it's just, all right, what else you got? If you're gonna take away the crux of it, if you're gonna take away the meatiest portions of it, which are the pay-per-views.
Where you're gonna have to pay for it.
You have to sell me something. Yeah,
because you're gonna have to pay for it somewhere else.
Yeah. So,
and if I have to pay for it somewhere else, that $10 or whatever that deal is it might be gone, because it might be pun intended, obsolete.
No, yeah, absolutely. That was a good pun, actually, because that actually brings us back to AEW, because you said that.
Go to the soundboard. That was a good one.
Yeah, no, that was a good. Okay, my bad. I should have hit you with the wow. So for the most part, we did have Matt Hardy, aka what's his name now?
Brody.
You said Damascus. Damascus. That's a pretty dope name. Yeah, I like it actually. He debuted. Unfortunately I had turned off the fucking. I hadn't turned it off. I just wanted to go watching something else. And he debuted. He texted, "Oh, Matt Hardy's here." I'm like, "Yeah, we knew he was gonna be there."
It was the
But
last match.
no, I mean I know, but I turned it off after the Brody Lee thing. After also Brody Lee, aka what's his
Luke
name?
Harper?
Luke Harper. There you go. Also debuted as the Exalted One, which we all thought it was going to be Matt Hardy, obviously, but it wasn't. And it's an interesting take.
It just didn't make sense because only reason why I don't think Matt Hardy would have made sense is because Matt Hardy has a lot of friends in WWE, in the wrestling business that he has not teamed up with too much, like Shannon Moore, even Brian Kendricks, like even, well, maybe not Brian Kendricks, Shane Helms. Like even when they did the last delete show for TNA, he showed up, he used them, but he never really. Then he didn't use them as a faction, so I didn't think this would make sense if he's going to use this new group of guys. If he didn't do this 5 years ago in TNA and Ring of Honor.
Fair enough.
So like it would have been great. Like that's still a great idea. Like if there's like I don't know, for lack of a better term, a WWE term, the leader of worlds.
Yeah.
Have like a group under that or something for Delete or whatever. But all we get from the Broken Universe is Itchweed and Nero. So
and we also get Vanguard 1 because you fucking hit us up. Vanguard 1 is here, and I was like, oh shit, okay, then that obviously means Matt Hardy's
here. I like that, but I like that they still did what the plan was, but I would have been a lot more happier to see it actually happen with a crowd and the real.
Oh, no, I mean it would have been lit, and I think but the other reason why they wanted to put that out there is so more people could tune in next week and see what happens. Because it's like we're in this weird state where there are no crowds, everybody's home, and at least you could try to maximize your views from home on. So like everybody's like, oh shit, Luke Harper just debuted as Brody Lee, and now you have Matt Hardy debuting as Damascus. Like
taking shots.
We have to watch next week. Yeah, we have to watch next week for sure. So it's gonna be interesting, and it's one of those things. Like you said, they're already ahead in the ratings with against NXT. So why not continue that with? Yeah. Why not continue that with debuting these two guys on the same show? It would have been funny if they put Vanguard 1 as the Exalted One. That shit would have had me dying. But for the most part,
it's too many people that would have had.
No, I know, of course.
Too many people that would have had a bitch fit.
No, I know, way too many. But for the most part, like it would have been, it would have went with the joke of, not the joke, but what Christopher Daniels was saying the whole time, like, you don't have a leader, you lying motherfucker. Like it would have went with that completely. To see Vanguard 1 come out, then we could have all been like, oh my god, and they would have all been confused, like, who the fuck, why is there a drone coming out? And then at the end,
but it's not. Exactly. Has like a split personality. He's talking to, he has like DID or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just it could have worked in a different way, but either way, like it still garners more attention towards the product, and that's what they're doing at the moment. So they're doing a good job. I'm looking at a retweet from Chris Jericho right now. Somebody put the world's worst wrestler on Twitter put, I can't get into it. My disappointment is too high that hashtag Blood and Guts has been canceled. AEW needs to come straight out and explain why Blood and Guts is not happening. You spend the whole Dynamite building it just to cancel it Thursday. It makes no sense. Then Chris Jericho retweets and responds, first off, pull your head out of your ass and realize these are crazy times. Secondly, we aren't allowed to gather more than 10 people at a time. Blood and Guts has 11 inside the cage, and that's with no cameraman or crew. People.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say it better than him. I can't say it better than him.
You got to count the ref.
Yeah, you got to count the ref. And on top of that, I can't say it better than Chris Jericho said it himself. It's like, for real, like, grow the fuck up. Yeah. It's difficult times right now. You can't get toilet paper most of the places, which is crazy still. And
people are crazy out there hoarding
times right now. Like everybody's in it together, and you're worried about the fact that you can't go to Blood and Guts. yo, fuck off. Like,
I'm not gonna lie. I would rather if we were going to the show, I would prefer that be canceled and rescheduled.
100% agreed.
Because like we tried to buy tickets after they announced Blood and Guts. It went up.
Absolutely.
The fact that we were still willing to buy tickets after it went up, and we know why it went up. No, don't. If you're gonna have the Blood and Guts match, you better have a second one also.
True.
You better have a second one for that same exact night.
Yeah.
So no, fuck it. Postpone it, and when you end up coming back to Jersey, that's when you can have it.
Make it a big thing again. Yeah, when it's safe for everybody to actually do it, which of course is the number one priority of every fucking company right now. Wrestling, sports, whatever the fuck it is right now. Like, it's like Jericho said, get your head out of your ass. It's that simple. It's way bigger than just wrestling. It's way bigger than your entertainment. Just watch what you get. Take what you can get at this point. You know what I mean? Like, it's just nobody expected all of this shit. So everybody's in a reactive phase more than like.
And it's always been being reactive, but it's more so being reactive because now we have shit to do, but stay home.
Yeah, exactly. And they're still trying to put out the best product they can with given the circumstances.
And they are.
They are. Which I think kind of shows, like, the matches were good, the ones that I saw.
How do you feel about the crowd? Lack of crowd.
The crowd was funny to me.
Crowd in WWE and crowd of superstars in AEW. How do you feel about that?
I think that's a good idea because at least you have people rooting for. You show some dynamic from the background, from the backstage area, and you can still filter in some storyline into that, which makes a lot more sense than just having an arena empty. Which, don't get me wrong, WWE's trying to figure it out just as much as AEW is, but at the same time, the fact that AEW had their performers, their superstars outside cheering on either the Butcher and the Blade or whatever, I'm putting bets and shit, and even getting Tony Schiavone in on betting, like it's comical, but at the same time, it's just like it makes sense because when you see WWE, you're just hearing the commentary, you're just hearing commentary, and you're not hearing other people yelling.
Ooh. Last night, Zelina was great.
I'm sure she was.
There was a tag match. I forgot who they were going up against, but Street Profits were on commentary, and Zelina is just reacting to them on commentary because it's in such a confined space. And she's like, "Shut up!" And just Montez is just great. He's reacting. He's like, "Yeah, bless you." Like he's a character. I love it. I can't wait to see more. I'm happy he's the champ. He's half of the champ. He's tag champ. But
I still don't think they did enough to deserve that shit because for the most part, for 6 months, they were just hosting, man.
I don't care.
I mean, it's fine. Don't get me wrong. But like, I'm just I mean, they put him on Raw for that specific reason. So moving on to WWE now, they put him on Raw for that specific reason, so they could actually get that exposure because they knew they were good at promos, most likely.
Yeah,
we both saw the FCW documentary that they had, and they are over, which they finally are paying attention to somewhat. Except for Roman Reigns, who's not over, and they're still trying to put him over. But whatever, that's neither here nor there.
We can't even say Roman's not over. He's over.
He's over.
He's
over.
Done over.
He's that over.
Well, we don't see shirt sales, so he's not that over. You know,
I mean, obviously, we don't see the. He's we're not discussing the fact that
he's over for us. We're done with him.
He's over for the most of anybody over 25, I would probably say, and not female. Yeah,
that's still
a male population.
Most
male population are over it, but because it's not like he's
the cream of the crop.
Because he's not. He's not. Like how I work that shit in. But anyways,
he's really good. It's just that it's still about personality for him.
And that's the thing. They never let him be himself. Because I've seen the other things like Table for Three and this and that, like where he's been himself and he's had fun. and it seems natural and organic, and you're like, oh, I like that guy, and then you go back to we've had this discussion a million times. I'm not trying to have this discussion.
We're not going to talk about
the
Roman.
Thing is, it's just, I mean, we're gonna eventually end up talking about him because he has a fucking title match eventually, but next week. So just to get into next week, pretty much, which is WrestleMania, we're still gonna have a lot more stuff. What?
Did you say the Did you say the different like your opinion on the differences Raw and AEW with the crowd versus?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I think AEW's on the right track right now, honestly, and WWE can learn some things about that in terms of have your wrestlers come out if you're limited to a certain quantity.
Yeah.
Depending on what state you're in or what state you can perform in. I mean, you're doing it in the Performance Center regardless. Have your performers scattered 6 feet from each other around ringside or in the audience, and whoever's there or can be there, and have them be there and cheer them on. Just like it's something they could pull from AEW. Raw already kind of pulled the camera stuff from AEW.
You know, Tony said something, right?
Did he?
Yes. Somebody tweeted that they changed the hard cam.
Yeah, they did.
And Tony Khan, he quoted the tweet with a GIF, basically taking credit for it.
The hard cam was better.
Yeah.
There's things in AEW that were already better than WWE, and that's because they had worked within the system. But I mean, it is what it is. Like, and they're gonna give and take from each other. That's what competition does.
And also you got to remember, these are a couple of the producers already have worked for WWE, so exactly. I'm sure they have suggested in that place, and it was turned down, and they suggested in this place, and they said, okay, that's a look, and now they're using that. So exactly. I'm sure it's going to be a lot.
It's like when you go to a manager, it's just like, yo, I had this idea, this is a great idea, blah, blah, and you're like, nah, but then 7 months later down the line, you're like, yo, the manager's like, how about if we do this? And you just look at them like,
I told you this, right?
Shit out of you right now, huh?
I know I just told you this. That's it. Like, I just told you this a while ago. Like, sometimes, especially in a situation where it's like introduced to everyone. Like, yeah.
And that's when you're always just like,
why you being a dickhead fool? Stop being a dickhead.
But no, yeah. So like, because we're talking about WWE mainly right now at this point, we do have WrestleMania coming up next week. They spoke about it being a 2-night thing, which is what we discussed. I want to say like about a month ago, we were discussing it. Like this would probably happen. I'm pretty sure they weren't going to do it until this whole coronavirus thing happened. But we did speculate like, hey, this might happen in the future regardless, because eventually it'll get that big, which it kind of was already like the WrestleMania weekend. You did have NXT the day before. Then you had on the Friday you would have the Hall of Fame ceremony. So you did have those things going on. But like as a WrestleMania, we spoke about how they're gonna make it eventually a 2-day thing, like they did with Wrestle Kingdom in New Japan. By the way, I'm getting my money back for the Sakura Genesis. They officially canceled it, so that's a good thing. But no, yeah, it's just an interesting take overall with how much things have changed to the point where they have put it to 2 days, because it's something we weren't expecting quite soon, but because of the scope of the problem with the virus and whatnot, and with all these restrictions, it makes a lot more sense.
I wasn't expecting it just this way, because this is very different. Like, they knocked out NXT. NXT must not have had a card.
NXT is going to have to be part of it. They did probably have a card, and that's why they're making it a 2-parter WrestleMania. Well, they're probably just combining the two at this point.
There's only, 2 people from NXT that's popping up on...
They're going to have to add those matches in.
I don't think they will.
They should, though, because okay, so this is what we have right now for...
Actually, yes, I do think they will, because
they will.
It's only 30 matches for 2 days.
Exactly, and that's not... They usually have 8 matches per card. So they'll have to add 3 more matches, like the NXT Tag Team Champions. So right now they have the Intercontinental Championship, possibly.
Also have to remember that they just had a pay-per-view too. So that's one of the things that messed them up.
True, but that shouldn't really negate them from having a show for.
It does. You know why it does? It does because they don't work for the future. They work for the day. They plan for the day. They don't plan for the month. They plan for maybe the week, the most.
Yeah, but at the same time, like they still should have this show. So like right now we have the Intercontinental Championship match maybe being on there. Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan. Elias versus King Corbin. Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. I don't know why the fuck. Raw Tag Team Championship. Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza.
I want them to lose the titles. I want that to be a back and forth. I like that.
I don't mind back and forths.
I like that matchup. They need to have a back and forth because this looks like they're trying to build a tag team division.
Yeah.
Because this is two new tag teams, and Zelina is doing her thing. And if she can hold down the U.S. title and bring the tag titles as well, that's an amazing look. That's building 5 people right there. Let it be a really amazing match, and let her be able to manage a wrestler who's a double champ. That right there, that says a lot.
More on the map, yeah. After that, we have Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins, The Undertaker versus AJ Styles, what the fuck, Boneyard matches, whatever. SmackDown Women's Championship match, Bayley versus Lacey Evans, Tamina, Naomi, and Sasha Banks in a 5-pack challenge. NXT Women's Championship, Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. Raw Women's Championship, Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler. The Fiend, Bray Wyatt versus John Cena. Randy Orton versus Edge. Last Man Standing match. Universal Championship match, Goldberg versus Roman Reigns. And I almost called him the dog. Anyways, and
the poodle.
And yeah, okay, that's fair enough. And then we have the WWE Championship match, Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre. It's gonna be weird because like you're gonna be watching WrestleMania at the Performance Center with an empty. You have to have. There has to be a way to like. I don't know. Oh, you know what they should do? I just had a thought.
What happens when the Undertaker comes out? Because
it's the shortest walk in the history of mankind. You're gonna hear some sirens
for no reason, but he walked super fast. No, I don't hear the sirens, but
I muted my mic. That's why.
Smart guy. I heard it. Yeah, but it's gonna be annoying to watch the. Well, no, it might actually be good, but it's gonna be so short. Like I don't know how they're gonna build up the Performance Center differently than they built up Raw and SmackDown because it's the same thing. It should be different just for the Undertaker's walk, because that short ass walk that he did on Friday to the ring, it's not gonna do. I don't know.
But honestly,
even with the gimmick of him being a dead man, the fog and all of that, and the purple light, it's not gonna work. So
they're gonna have to switch it up. They're gonna have to, and it'll be interesting to see what they switch it up to. But for the most part, like I think what they should do. This is what they should do for fun, and just hear me out on this.
It's not. Wait. So they announced that it's a Boneyard match. That changes everything. I don't think this match is gonna be in the arena.
That's the thing. But this is my other thing. Just for the overall scope of the pay-per-view, which would be hilarious to me. So you know how you could superimpose shit on green screens and whatnot?
Yeah.
Take the crowd from the Nintendo 64 video games and put that around. That would be fucking genius. I would love it. That would be amazing because it would just it would make sense, and it would be comical, but at the same time, it'll still somewhat give that feel. And you could even import those sound bites because guess what? They licensed out your video game, so you could put in the crowd sound bites, or you could even put in your own fucking crowd sound bites from all the years of you still got it or whatever, this and that. You have all those chants on record. I'm sure somebody recorded them into MP3s for WWE so they could use. You can do that.
They do, and you got to remember, this is a whole bunch of fans that work in this company. So
exactly.
Somebody knows how to find somebody that can do it.
Exactly. But and that's what I'm saying. Like, they're already superimposing those graphics, like, when they come out from the Patron and whatever. They already superimpose, like, the dog and the dead man symbol and all that shit.
Yes.
You could superimpose the Nintendo 64 fucking audio or even superimpose the crowd.
Either updated, but I wouldn't even, maybe updated, but still, either way, as long as it's silly enough. Like, you have, like, this is entertainment. As much as WWE is more entertainment than it is sports, this is what it should do.
Yeah, I think you should have fun with it at this point.
Yeah, because
experiment. You have a free pass. We talked about it.
We have.
Yeah, you talked about it. You have a free pass this week. This upcoming, like the next couple of months, they have a free pass, carte blanche. So you might as well.
I don't want to watch. I really don't want to watch just because of the host.
I could care less about Rob Gronkowski.
I don't want to watch because of the. That's how bad that whole. All I saw was him coming out. I didn't hear him talk, but you gotta remember, this is
you just turn it off right there. You just went.
This is Mojo's friend.
So, was your reaction kind of like?
No, God.
Yes.
No, God, please, no, no.
No, yeah, I would assume it would be because of the fact that like it just does. It's like,
What?
why?
Yeah, like I get it. It's for the numbers, but I'm sure this was going on behind the scenes for a lot longer. And they said,
yeah, for sure. Because remember, a couple WrestleManias ago, he helped out Mojo Rawley win that stupid trophy. So
it's not stupid. It's Andre the Giant Battle Royale.
My bad. Whatever.
Andre the Giant. Respect that man's name.
Anyways, but yeah, I think that's it. Any other WWE news? Oh, so I did read that Daniel Bryan wants in his new contract he wants a more part-time status, which I think makes sense.
He's a
new dad.
Yeah, new dad.
No, yeah, but he already came back from injury once. Probably that match versus Drew Gulak made him re-solidify that shit because he almost got killed 3 times. But it makes sense. It makes sense, honestly.
Yeah, it's really like you're solidified. If you're not going to put anyone else over, and because he's doing that, but if you're not going to do it to a certain extent, and you can't do it to a certain extent, be a part-timer every couple of months, pop up and put somebody over.
Exactly.
It's a good idea. I like it.
I think that's where he's at in his career, to be honest with you. So you might as well do that. And so let's get into.
Gonna still get big money for it too.
No, yeah, of course, 100%. So let's get into the meat and bones. We have probably like I want to say maybe like 15 minutes to discuss this before I have to vamoose and get back to work. Actual work.
We talking about
Dark Side of the Ring.
Oh, Dark Side of the Ring. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God! You don't think he did it?
It could go either way. I
have a theory for he did it, didn't realize it because of the CTE, and when he did realize it, that's when the suicide happened. That's my theory.
I think it has to do more than just with the CTE. If you watch Dark Side of the Ring, it was on Chris Benoit. It was part 1 of the Chris Benoit episode. Pretty heavy subject matter because a lot of people, like Chris Benoit. A lot of people like he, as they said multiple times in the show, probably one of the best wrestlers of all time. Literally, like his work ethic and everything. Like there's no denying all that stuff when you watch his matches.
Top 10,
like,
but he might be even lower. I'm saying top 10. I'm saying top 10 to be safe. Because I'm not wrong. 5 is in 10 because he might be.
No, I didn't say top 5. He's at least in top 10. He's one of the best of all time.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's just that's not what the episode's about. Obviously.
Yeah, it's about the
asterisk. About the action and the asterisk that comes with it. So like, it's pretty much has to do with everything leading up to the death of his family, the double murder suicide supposedly, which we can say it was because that's what happened, but shit can always be staged. I don't know. It's just a lot of things that a lot of people said that kind of put some doubt in the whole situation as to, there's a lot of factors that went into stuff that led towards that. There's not really one major, there's one major thing when Eddie Guerrero died. That's like, okay, so him and Eddie Guerrero were best friends after being not friends in New Japan and
killing each other.
Practically killing each other, almost like fucking you would see in New Japan anyway. And they became best friends quickly after working quite a few matches together. And so eventually, after 8 to 10 years of friendship, Eddie Guerrero passed, heart disease that caught up with him due to his overdoses and whatnot over time, which fucking blows. Also, another one of the greatest of all time wrestlers. Hands down, he's definitely top 5. I don't care what anybody says.
Okay.
But it's just like, so when you look at him and when you look at the friendship between Guerrero and how it was described with Guerrero and Benoit, it was more than just best friends. It was like brothers, like two dudes. Like you always hear, oh, she's my soulmate, blah blah, this and that to his wife or whatever. You can have a soulmate as a woman, but you can also have a soulmate as a dude. Like that's your boy. That's your
that's your guy. That's your bro.
That's
you can have that, like the person that
like you will
that understands you the most and that you understand the most. Yeah.
And that you'll like die for at any time, like whatever. Like with my best friend when he was in the military, when he was in the Marines in Afghanistan, like I was like, yo, if something were to happen to him, bro, I would have fucking lost. I would have broken. Like honestly. And I understand to the point where your best friend, even though you haven't known him all your life, but like that became your best friend, spending every day with him, going to work with him every day, talking shit, shooting the shit, relying on each other. And then all of a sudden you're waiting for him at the gym downstairs in the hotel, doesn't pop up, and you get a phone call saying, hey, like not even a phone call, you phone up and you hear, oh, your best friend just died. Like, how do you... you
don't process that.
He lost a half of himself, honestly.
Yeah.
He literally lost a part of himself, or not even a part of himself, like at least 1/3, because obviously he was in love with his wife Nancy as well. So like you just lost a major part of your life. What do you do there? And I could understand how that could attribute to a mental break overall, because that was, besides being his best friend, he was a guiding force in his life too at the same time, and vice versa. So like, what do you do after that? Like, I just saw something similar in Westworld season 3 on the first episode, like that kind of explores that same thing. Like he lost his best friend, but they have him talking to a bot that has his best friend's voice. That's kind of supposed to be therapeutic but not working. It's fucking weird, but
that's
like,
weird. That's
weird.
You can see that as therapeutic for some people.
Yeah, for some people,
I can see
for
that.
Other people, yeah. So like, imagine
other people. It's a thing.
So like exploring that aspect of it, and like I kind of use that to explore the aspect described in Dark Side of the Ring. It's a fucked up situation to be in. Nobody knows how they'll react, to be honest with you. Like, if something were to happen to you
just want to grow old with. You'd like
exactly. You want to shoot the shit.
Death on anybody, and you don't think about. You most of the time don't really think about death for a person.
Nah, you don't.
So
and if you do, you start panicking. Like, what do I do with this person? Like
this is not
you don't ever want to think those things. It's kind of fucking blows, but like it does happen. So I could understand how that could go towards breaking a person, which kind of did break him. Which they started. Vicky said so. Chris Jericho was on it, said so himself. That he was changed out. Dean said so. So Dean Malenko, and
that's
Nancy's
why it's so believable. That's why it's believable about what happened, because it's like you see this man that was never really that emotional. He becomes even more of a shell of himself. Mm-hmm. He ends up being more closed off. He's not talking to anybody. So I think what happened with those texts was like, those were like warning signs of, please just come get me.
Yeah, obviously. They were, but at the same time, like it's weird. Just like Chavo said, they're weird fucking texts to get out of nowhere. Like, you know what I mean? Like maybe he had taken something and he wasn't in his right mind, and that's perfectly fine. But at the same time, like, why would he text the same thing from his? It's just things that don't make sense. That would have, like, I understand getting it from Chris Benoit to Chavo and to, I forgot who else it was.
One of the agents.
Yeah. But then at the same time, if you get that from the wife's cell phone, for me, something's up more than just him.
Yeah, I really wish Chavo would have, like, once they mapped those texts out, even though they did it too late. I wish they would have did that wellness check before Vince.
Yeah.
I really wish that would have happened. I wish that would have been possible.
Because like to me, if you send me,
didn't take any time off.
Yeah. So like to me, if you were to send me something saying something mad weird, like yo, I left food in the fridge, mad random, or yo, my mom's at work, just make sure she's okay, I'll be like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, that's kind of
like
scary because
that's alarm bells. Even at 3 a.m, like if I get a text like that, I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Even worse at 3 a.m. What the fuck is going on? What are you?
And that's when they got it.
What are you doing at 3 a.m?
That's what Chavo said he got at 3 a.m, and I'm just like, that didn't wake you up, full stop. Like, yo, what the?
Yeah, as soon as I'm aware of that, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm getting a random text. Hey, is everything all right? Especially with that situation of Benoit being so closed off, and he had this relationship with everybody that, not just everybody, but everybody, like all the members of the Radicals, Jericho, the wives. Like those are things also, like all of those relationships need to be taken into consideration of how weird this person has now become and where it's going. So like, yeah, that's a definite thought that should have happened. It was like, okay, what is happening over here? Why is this happening? Let me do a personal wellness check.
Yeah. Absolutely. And the thing is, like, the episode's not even fully over because it's a 2-parter, I'm sure they're gonna get into more like overall, because this was like a 40-minute. If you haven't seen it, watch it on YouTube.
Go into the theory.
And I think it's gonna go into more things, like not just, oh, he killed him and that's it. Like, why did he kill him? Did he really kill him? Like, what? Like, was it a setup, as the conspiracy theories really like say it was a setup, or like it just there's just so much shit behind it.
I hope they go into the
I hope they do, because there's a lot of things that just didn't make sense. Painting him as, oh, he loves his wife, he loves his kids, like blah blah. Even like
the first 20 minutes was on him.
It was all about that.
Yeah, the first 30 minutes was him,
family and best friend.
Him, Kevin Sullivan, and Nancy. So yeah,
exactly. So that's where it's like that first 20 minutes was about that, and then the next like 10 minutes were about like, oh, how much he loved his family, how much he loved Eddie, how much he loved his kids, blah blah blah, how he was a family man, and every time like he wasn't with them, that he would always be like, oh damn, like I wish I was with my family. And then the last 5 to 7 minutes were about what happened, like Eddie dying, and then that leading to possibly leading to him doing a double murder suicide. But that's the thing, like there's a lot of things that don't match up with that story. Where why would you focus so much on the beginning part with Kevin and Nancy?
Just the introduction. Well, no, it's still the introduction.
And it could be the introduction to the second part of it. Like, hey, did something happen there? Because they even reached out to Kevin Sullivan and like he didn't respond to anything. So like there's a lot of unanswered questions. And there always will be unanswered questions. That's the fucked up part.
Yeah, but, nobody knows. Nobody was there. There's no footage. It's just crazy. But
yeah,
I'm happy we got this story. I'm looking forward to more of it. I'm looking forward to the whole season. It's a lot. Jericho just does not stop fucking working.
Yeah,
I love
you don't give a shit. And that's like, even being an EVP and like still doing other things like this, like you could tell the man works hard, and like everybody that is involved in wrestling pretty much works hard.
Wants to do and nothing that he has to do.
Exactly.
Like you can tell he's not doing anything he has to do. He has a cruise. He's a narrator on Dark Side of the Ring. He's former AEW champion, so he's a superstar there. So he's gonna keep popping up, and he's fucking Fozzy. He's the Fozzy guy.
Yep.
He's not doing anything. He doesn't.
30 years in on top of that.
And he's having fun, and he's putting people in positions.
Facts.
I love this. But to go back to Dark Side of the Ring, I'm looking forward to the Brawl for All story. I think that's I forgot who. That could be JBL. No, that's the boxing situation. Bart Gunn, I think it is. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the Jimmy Snuka story and Owen Hart. Those are the ones I'm looking forward to.
I mean, they should all be good because every episode I've seen has been good regardless. Because Vice knows how to present shit, so like it's just done really well.
but those are the ones that I know that I'm aware of. I'm not too familiar with David Schultz. I'm not too familiar with Dino Bravo. So like, I like it. It's the same thing like the last season they had the Von Erich family. That's the one that I went into not knowing about.
Yeah.
Pretty cool story.
Which is cool. Like you get to learn shit.
Yeah, pretty cool story, but that's just mind blowing to me. But now the other ones are good.
But yeah, it's gonna be good to watch. And then like, I mean, it's good TV, honestly. Especially it's a more of a deep dive too. So into the wrestling world that we don't really know about in the background. We only hear rumors and stuff, and sometimes things get confirmed. But for the most part, it's an interesting look, especially to like the era before social media. So it's a good look into all of that stuff. But with that being said,
I don't think we have any more wrestling.
I don't think we do either. So with that being said, I think that's the end of the podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at Pokes and Chokes. Myself at _Mr. Alex25 _ the guy on the other side of the screen at
NU _ KEW.
Facebook.com/Pokes and Chokes. Instagram Pokes Chokes Podcast. Patreon.com/Pokes and Chokes. And if you want merch on Redbubble and stuff. Oh, we also do have a new sticker that I got made. Look at that shit, bitches. Anyways, but yeah.
A sticker. It's like a Pokemon card. It's a holographic, huh?
Yeah, it's holographic. You see that shit? Look at that shit. Anyways, but yeah.
So ridiculous.
I know. But yeah, that's the end of the podcast. Thanks again for watching. Listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and I missed something. Transistor FM. There you go.
I don't know, but I'm going to bring some more wrestling news because I need to know what's going on with Impact, Ring of Honor, and NWA.
Facts. And next week, we're going to preview whatever WrestleMania is going to be. So we'll catch you guys next week. So peace out.
Later.